It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day. The heart of Massachusetts should be freedom, justice, and liberty. Freedom-led pilgrims from Plymouth Bay. Salem trials had justice too late. The sons of liberty spilled the tea, and then the redcoats spilled their blood. The shot heard around the world rang out from the Bay State. Boston's strong and ready to defend. It's where revolution started and ends. It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day. Quincy Market, Freedom Trail, Charles River, Boston Harbor, Bunker Hill, Griffin Wharf, Fenway Park, Omar Charge. It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day.
Boom. That's from my buddy Mikey. So, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Of course. Crazy stuff. Crazy times we're living in, I tell you that. Crazy times. Trying to find something here for you all. Trying to remember who sent it to me. That was Howie Carr. Yeah, the Howie Carr thing. See that, you guys? There's a vote. Don't know if you've seen it. It's on Twitter. Some guy did a vote saying he's questioning whether Aiden will go on Howie's show again or not. And I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean, you guys, not you, but some of the people out there, I think, are making this out to be a lot more than it really is. Like, people are looking for stuff to say this and that, and it's just not there. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, Aiden's doing his thing, right? Karen's doing her thing. We all know Howie's doing his thing. I mean, if you think about it, it could have been reversed. Aiden could have asked Howie on the show to promote a book that he was writing without Howie knowing, you know? So, either way, I think people are just making a little too much out of what Karen and her team are doing, we'll say. Because you got to realize, too, is that's a team effort over there. They have multiple people giving multiple input to multiple situations, you know? And Aiden's a one-man show. I mean, everything you see is his creation, you know? And if you haven't bought tickets, hey, John, how you doing? Yeah, Mike's doing good. Please he needs some prayers, everybody. Please just say a prayer for Mike. That's all I ask. Yeah. But I totally lost my train of thought. Oh my. Back to what Aiden was doing. I mean, Aiden does his stuff. Howie does his stuff. Karen does her stuff. And you know, sometimes they come together. Sometimes they click. Oh, the Wilbur Theater. If you haven't bought tickets, you absolutely have to buy tickets. It would be good to sell out. I think that's the proper way to I don't want to say objectify, but I want to say appreciate, maybe is the word. Because, I mean, he did a lot. He went to jail. Say what you want, okay? Whatever you can say. It's probably true. May have some factual basis in it. say what you want, but you can't say he didn't do 60 days in jail where you cannot leave and you are monitored 24 hours a day being watched. He did that. And he didn't do it necessarily for Karen Reed as much as he did it for you and I, being able to sit here right now, right here, doing this exactly what we're doing. This is hard to put into words. He's done more for the First Amendment than a lot of people have done. And I think looking back, you can say that very few people have stood up to the Massachusetts State Police, stood up to them. Because don't try and mix this up. This is aiding against the state police. Proctor wrote, "Can't we just go arrest him?" They want him. And for what reason? Why? What did he do? What is so bad that he did so bad that they're out to get him? What is it? What did he do? He asked Jen McCabe a question. Nothing else. No more. No less. He scared them. And they freaked out, hit the panic button, and arrested him, thinking that'll shut him up. I don't think they thought that one through at all. But if you don't have people like Aiden to say, "Hey, look at this. This is wrong." If you don't have people like the Canton Nine who are standing up saying, "Hey, this is wrong." If you don't have those people, what do you have? You have them in charge, being able to do whatever they want against you because they don't like you, and that's it. No other reason. You don't have to break a law. Aiden didn't break any laws. It wasn't, here's an order, don't go near this person. Don't go near Jen McCabe. Here you go. He never got that. And then to break it, he didn't break the order that wasn't there to begin with. So the fact that the mainstream media isn't covering this really tells you all you need to know. John, I would love to go, but I do not have a ticket. And I'm a solo, so kind of going alone is kind of a weird feeling type of a thing. and I wouldn't want to go and take away from all the work that Aiden and Auntie Deb have done. Actually, Aiden's done a lot, but I'm pretty sure you're going to be surprised at what Jimmy's been doing in background. Jimmy's a smart dude, and I think you're going to see in here a lot of different things that you aren't expecting, and it's going to be Jimmy in rare form. I think it's going to be yeah. We'll get the bus riding, get the bus going. I have no problem driving. It's just I don't have a ticket, and I kind of like when I say I don't want to take away from that, like I don't want to be someone that's people like there, like I just feel weird. It's Aiden and Jimmy's thing, and I don't want to like hijack it or anything of that sort, or nothing of that matter, like that. So if I don't go, I can't, like, I just avoid all that other criticism that whatever. So does that make sense? It's more of a respect thing, I think, for me. Like I respect Aiden and I respect Jimmy, and I wouldn't want to throw a wrench in anything that they've done just by being there. If that makes sense, guys. It's I'm weird like that. I'm just a different type of person when it comes to things like that. I see it as Aiden and Jimmy's party, and like I don't want to. I don't want to take away from it. That's all. You know. If that makes sense. I hope you guys understand. Well, see the like, it's not, and that's the thing. I like. I don't know. It. I'm odd. Let's just say that. How about this? You ready? Make this even easier. You guys ready? Oh boy. Where are we? Okay, I can do this. And can I do that? No. Do that. Hold on. Where is it? It's gone. Oh my God. Okay, let's do this. Paste. There you go. Phone line's open. Well, right? But am I really part of that, or did I just document that? Right? Like I showed the world everything I could with my camera. Like that to me, that was my job. Like that was my assignment. Film Karen Reed, film what they're doing to Aiden, film what they're doing to the Canton 9. Right? That was my job. And I did the best I could do. And you know, there's no what do you call it? There's no manual for any of this. This is all like just fly by the hands. Well, let me put you up on stage, you. Hold on. All right. Can people hear you?
I don't know.
Can you guys hear? Can you now hear them? I just took you off stage by accident. I don't think I can. Wait a minute. I'm having big problems here. All right. And now I do this.
I'll turn my volume all the way
Oh.
down. Maybe that'll be helpful.
Good to go. Now, can you guys hear this caller by any chance?
Can you hear me?
Pam,
Can you hear me, people?
Pam, that was my assignment. And I think I understood the assignment, right? Hold the camera and put you guys as close as I can in the middle of it all. That was my assignment. And I got you guys front row every single day of that trial. Every day, never missed a day. And that was my job. So, hello. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine. How about you?
Doing good.
Yeah. Why are you telling them that you're odd? They already know that.
What do you mean?
You just said I'm an odd duck. I'm like, you tell them stuff they already know.
Yeah, well, it's all right.
They already know that, dude.
Yeah, true. Good.
That's why they love you. That's why they're here. That's why we're all here.
Yeah. Okay. I'll buy that.
You don't have to. It's free.
Oh, Peppa. Please, Peppa. Thank you so very much.
Isn't she the best?
She is. She's
the best.
No.
Pepper's the best. Listen to me. She's
and you ask
bomb
why,
JD.
and you ask why you're number 3. You just sorry, but she rocks. She is awesome.
She should be number one.
No, close. So,
Okay, well,
yeah, happens. Are you going to the Wilbur Theater, Miss Amy?
you know that I can't. I don't have a car to drive.
I didn't know if you were going to get together with people and figure out a way.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I hope that everybody that's going is going to have a blast
Oh, you know they will.
and take pictures outside before they go in. And I'm going to hear about it after. I hope that Turtle Boy and Jimmy are going to have some sort of either a DVD or you know, a stream after that I can buy, because there are lots of people that can't be there that would love to be a part of it afterwards,
Yep.
to contribute somehow and have it afterwards. So that's what I'm hoping for.
You know, I would offer this, right? I would offer to film the entire thing for free for Aiden and Jimmy, and then just give them the footage. Like, someone's got to film them. Like, instead of them filming like one another, you need I'm thinking you need like a third person on the outside that because he's gonna be in the crowd. Like, he's gonna interact with the crowd. So you're gonna need someone to run around with the camera and stuff. So I volunteered for that. I haven't heard back though. So
Yeah, I don't think they want anyone filming anything. He's been very clear about no phones inside there, and if you bring a phone in, to be respectful. He wants it to be like he just wants people to like enjoy themselves and not be worried about filming stuff with your phone. I kind of agree. Like, it's not like it was back in the day. Don't you remember back in the day, Great Woods, you went to a show, you enjoyed the show?
you had to. If you put your phone up, you were like cast eye. Remember if it
Well,
rained?
first of all, wait. Shh, back up. Back in our time, you didn't have a phone to put up to. You had a lighter.
Well,
You didn't put a phone up back in our day. You went to the show, you had fun.
Yep.
Okay, so there was no phone to put up, first of all. You put up either a lighter, your middle finger, or you had a great time. You put a blanket out on the lawn, you brought your cooler with your treats.
Yep.
That's it. You had a fun time, you went to the show.
Those were the days.
Right? So there was nothing to put up except maybe an attitude. If somebody didn't want to go in the mosh pit with you. You had fun. You went to Metallica. You saw the pyrotechnics. You had a blast.
Can you imagine
That's what you
mosh
did.
pit nowadays?
I
I
won't do it. My daughter goes to shows, but she told me, she's like, "Oh, she won't go to huge shows now. She goes to smaller venues."
Okay.
Because it's a better show. It's a better quality. That the
really is.
Crowd is better.
It is.
Yeah, she's like, I will not go see big, huge shows. First of all, the tickets are way too expensive. She's like, we'll get anal about you can't bring this, you can't do this, we pat you down. She's like, I go to smaller shows. It's way more, lax.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the
she has a better time.
thing I think is good. But at the same time, I think it would be a shame not to document what, Jimmy's work, because a lot of
I agree. I agree.
Jimmy is a smart, funny dude. And to not have those laughs,
I love Jimmy.
in those moments, granted, to not be there in person, that's one thing, and you got to buy tickets. But to not capture that for them, for Aiden and Jimmy, for Memorial.
Did you watch? Did you watch Jimmy's show the other day about his story about Josephine?
No, I didn't see
on his
that.
birthday.
No, what day was that? What?
On his birthday. It was on his birthday. Excuse me.
So Jimmy,
I need more tea.
I missed 2 days, and I don't know which ones
You have to go back and watch it was on his birthday. I believe it was his 37th birthday. And he talked about the whole story of his Josephine. You could have ripped my heart out and thrown it across the street. It just touched me. And I'm not even a cat person, but after the end of that, I wanted to go adopt every cat that there is on the North Shore. I'm like, I'm going to go bring them all home.
Yep.
I'm not a cat person. I was a cat person. By the end of the show, I'm like, that's it. Adopt all the cats.
It's funny. He came down when to the first trial, and people just love that guy. Like, they just gravitate to him. You should have seen it.
He's like butter. He's so good.
He was just standing there, and then people are like, like they put it together, and it was kind of cool. It was really cool to see it.
He's a doll. So yes, I agree with you that it should be filmed, but it should be filmed by somebody that's not invested in it like we all are invested. Because if you go, honestly, you should sit back and enjoy. You shouldn't have to be the one recording it. You should be able to sit back and enjoy because you've been a part of this yourself. So you should be able to enjoy it. Somebody who is not as invested should be the one recording it, and then that should be the person to say, "Here you go. Here's your recording, and then do with it what you will."
But I'm not
You know
necessarily
what I mean?
a part of it. I was there, and I just I don't want to.
Are you kidding me?
I
Are
didn't.
you kidding me? Did that just come out of your face?
I didn't.
Everybody in the chat, Purple One, if
No.
you think that just came out of his face and he deserves a smack.
I
Are
didn't.
you kidding me right now? I should see all ones in the chat. No.
No,
You absolutely have been a part of this.
Aiden did something. Microdots.
Yes, he did, but you just
Right. I just held
too.
the camera. That's the easiest
How
thing in the world.
How many videos, excuse you, are you still talking? How many videos did I see of you out there?
None.
Rude as a can read.
None.
Honest,
None.
there are plenty of them. Be quiet.
Camera.
Do I need to drive? I know where you are, dude. Do I need to drive down there?
You know where I am.
I don't have a car.
Well,
I'm just saying in my head I'm driving down there.
but no, like
That's funny. That's why I'm not going to show not the car.
I don't think I did anything to impact or to change or anything like that. Like I held the camera, right? People watched. Okay, great. That's what was supposed to happen. But like as for doing something, Aiden did something. He paid a price for it too. Like to say that I did something, I didn't necessarily do anything. I just held the camera. Is that you see where I'm coming from? Like I didn't do it like Karen. I didn't say, "Hey Karen, this."
Yeah.
Whereas Aiden could put things together and say, "Hey, you may want to look at that." Yeah. Fundraiser. That was for John. That was John. We had 24-hour fundraiser. But either way. So listen, Amy, up.
Yes.
You got a call
Yes.
coming in. I was gonna.
Well, you go get it.
I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna put you out. There's only one phone line, so
That's fine. That's fine. I know.
I'll chat with
okay.
you later then.
I love you. Have a great day.
You too.
Call from Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Hello.
Can you guys
How
hear?
are you?
Good. Can you guys hear Kathy? I'm just want to make sure before we get going.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that they keep the window open and they can hear you. I think.
Okay.
Can you guys hear Kathy on the line? Anybody?
Hello. Hello. I'm here.
All right. So, how's your day going?
Very well. I was just listening to everything that everybody's saying, and I, in my opinion, want to give my opinion about you and Tom. You and Mike, excuse me. Do you remember when you got dragged across the street by a cop?
Yeah. Won't forget.
Okay.
My legs were dangling off the ground. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I was standing on the wrong side of the sidewalk that day.
Well, point is, I've never seen that kind of crap before with a cop anywhere. I've never seen a lot of stuff going on with cops, how they sit there and think they have a right to touch people who pay their salaries like they do down there.
Yes, they're out of control. And they were
yes.
allowed to be out of control.
Yes. And so you're saying that, each and every one of you who have, you went every day on your own. Nobody said, hey, go down there and do this. You decided that it was your job to help us all see what was going on. And you did an awesome job. I mean, we got to see what the other so-called professionals wanted us to see. You let us see what was really going on.
Right.
And you had, you paid to go down there. You took time to drive down there. You took your time and your product and you went on your own because it was your decision for us all to be able to see what was really going on. So yes, you are also a very big part of helping us see what's going on. That's just wanted to let you know how I feel about it.
I appreciate the thought, and I understand and agree where you're coming from to a point.
Okay, I'll
But
hear it.
I don't think that I didn't change the direction of that trial in any way, and I didn't help Karen Reed prove what Aiden or everyone else was able to prove. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it, and I don't just. It's just how I think about it. It's just how it is. I've done this before.
I'm hearing you.
Before, back in like the 2000-ish, something around there, the city of New Bedford built a school on top of a toxic waste dump. So I fought the town, and I wasn't getting anywhere with them. So then I brought it to the DEP, which is the local. I wasn't getting anywhere with them. Then I brought it to the Environmental Protection Agency at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and they listened to me. They read my letter, and they sent me like a quick response team, and were able to clean up the whole contaminated area the whole time, with the city not having anything to do with it, because if they did, that means they'd be responsible. And so many people got sick from that area, teachers and people that live there. All people died from just being on that land, and we fixed that. So that's huge. Karen Reed's the one person,
it is
but it's not. She's one person getting prosecuted, but it's just different.
Okay, well, I feel like this is just my opinion, that you're a very humble person, first of all, and that's awesome. That is totally awesome. You don't see that very much these days, and at least for me. But I will say that your podcast, like others, you supported Karen in a positive way. You wasn't out there like the other side saying negative and believing lies and whatever.
Right.
Because I could only handle listening to. I listen to everybody's podcast, and even the negative, but I could only take it for a minute and a half, and then I'd go on there. I got kicked off of their podcast lots of times, but I'd always leave them with a free Karen Reed, free Turtle Boy. I always left that, and I always got kicked off for about a month, but I don't care,
Yeah.
Point being that you and Mike were positive in also getting the word out there. I do remember you had people from the UK all around listening to your shows.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
So you also made a awesome contributing to the helping to get the word out that Karen Reed and the corruption and everything else that was going on. And I keep typing in, this is me, that we the people, we will always believe and know what really happened to Officer John O'Keefe, and we will never forget it regardless. And that's just mine. And one of these days I hope to be down there for whatever's going on. And I just to even meet you and everybody, because you're famous if you want to be or not. Okay.
I've learned that one. I walk in the supermarket and people want to take pictures and stuff. So yeah.
Wow. Now really, huh?
Yeah,
So you haven't made you haven't done nothing, Tom, huh?
No, it's different for me because like when I did this thing with the contamination, like I did something. Like I was in the middle of that. Like I fixed that. When I say
but you don't think you were in the middle of promoting the truth about Karen Reed?
I did my best. And
yes, you did. And you did awesome. And you were there with the camera.
Right.
You also
the camera did it. If anything, the camera did it.
What? You were behind the camera.
Yeah, someone had to. That was my
there
job.
By itself.
Listen, does the guy that's holding the camera for Channel 4 get the credit? No. It's not the guy from Channel 4's job. It's the person who's doing the story. That's who's important.
But he didn't have a podcast.
True.
Okay. You're not going to win this.
Okay.
You can. I'm sorry. I'm just letting you know that I really appreciate you, and I know the chat does, and everybody else is not even here. You did make also. You and Mike made a big contribution. You always had receipts. You always were the ones that came out with what was the next thing and what was going on before anybody else most of the time, because you were there and you guys were just awesome.
There's a lot that we couldn't say either. Like people will come up and tell us stuff, and we'd just be like, "Oh my God," and they're like, "Oh, by the way, you can't say anything." Like, but you have that knowledge,
I believe that.
and you can see it in other things. So, again, Aiden, this should be about Aiden, if anybody, because
it is about Aiden, and I agree. I mean, it's
for a long time. That's different.
Yeah,
that's a different fight altogether. Like, that's ball.
Yeah, it's different, but he started out this, the way you did, on his own, and I do believe. I mean, I think it's just awful and horrendous about Turtle Boy being arrested for journalism and freedom of speech, and how many other journalists and have come up and been to these same places as a proctor, which I just despise that person, and they didn't get arrested. Why is it just him?
Ted Daniels, can you imagine Ted Daniels in cuffs for a second? Just think about it. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, no, but yet here's Aiden, and that seems to be allowable. Why the mainstream media isn't covering that just blows my mind. Like,
I know, and it isn't. I mean, I've got a friend of mine that works up there. Well, we're acquaintances. We're not friends. We're acquaintances. And I asked him that question, why are you not covering the Turtle Boy? And then again, I asked him, when Karen Reed's trial was going on, how come you were more for the negative than the truth? And then once she was found not guilty, now you're on her side.
Yeah. It's everything I needed to know is I watched again from outside, right? You would see the guy, he's sitting there reading his phone, and he's reading exactly what they sent him. He can't add a letter. He can't add a comma. He can't even pause. He has to read what they send him. That's it. So it's not the people we see. It's the people that behind the scenes that are paying the paycheck, sending this guy stuff just to read in front of a camera. That's it.
You're right.
I saw that. Yeah. I'm like, that's it. That this guy's just, he don't even know what he's talking about most of the time. He's just reading it. He never asked me.
He probably doesn't even know, or he
didn't care.
Exactly.
Just
I agree with you. Agree.
So it's sad.
It's just crazy. I mean, I will say that where I'm at, I'm a survivor, and I'm actually have been in hiding for about 2.5 years, and I decided that listening to all the podcasts and being able to speak my the way I feel was my way of contributing, but still hiding. I mean, I'm still in hiding, but I don't ever give my real name out anywhere.
And you don't have to. That's fine.
Right, right. But I want to be, I always, I'm still a part of all of this in my own way, just like everybody else.
Right.
Who, gives their comments. We give our comments and able to call in. And it's another way to just be a part of. And I just want to let you know that you are a part of no matter what. And thank you.
Okay, well, you're welcome, and I appreciate it very much. If I was more active in that, to me it would be a different situation. If I was more, I mean, my job to me was the easiest job of everybody. Just hold the camera. Like,
Wow.
I kind of
I
see it
thought
like
yours was the most awesome job of a lot of people, you know? I mean, you asked questions, you said hello. I mean, you didn't just show,
oh yeah,
show what was going on.
that's
You
easy.
talked.
That's the easy stuff. Holding the camera.
Well, you're
Easiest
very
job there
good
is,
at it.
right? And to show you guys here, this is what's going on.
Yeah, but you're very good at
I
it.
can't
Thank you.
change that. And the thing is I was the one holding the camera when it was Aiden speaking on the step of the courthouse. He was the
Yeah.
one rallying the troops. It wasn't me. So, I was holding
Well,
the camera.
but you're very good at it.
Well, thank you. I tried my best. And again,
Yes, you did, and you were very good. Thank you so much for
Well-
all you've done and what you're going to be doing.
thank you. We got more coming, I think.
Yep. Okay, I'll let you go. Thank you very much,
Bye.
Tom.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye-bye.
weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Okay, that was awesome. I want to go over my picks here. Share this. All right, hold on a second, guys. All right, here we are. Hey, there you are. Glad to see you doing good. I mean, you're in all the time. Yeah. Thank you for the prayers for Mike. I really do. I do appreciate that very much. So, up to 8 people now, right? All the voting's done. All the other people have been voted, cast off the island. 8 people left. Jen McCabe against Morrissey. Krusty against Higgins. Proctor against Bev. And Tully against Fake Victim. Blue paint region. Okay. Jen McCabe versus Michael Morrissey. Guys, you got to vote. I gotta go, Jen McCabe. It's a gut thing. I had to. Next, Krusty and Higgins. Well, that's not even a. There you go. That's an easy vote there. Absolutely. Because again, who's more ratchet? You know. Proctor versus Auntie Bev. Yeah, I'm thinking Auntie Bev only for the fact that she has the ability to impact far more people than the guy on the left has impacted, could impact, would impact. Possibly looked the other way or listened to somebody that he shouldn't have. And then Tully against Fake Victim. This is a toughie. I don't know about this one. Tully really hates Aiden. But Fake Victim really friggin' played him hard. And she was on the phone with Mello, setting him up, knowing what was happening. But then again, there's Tully. I got to go Tully with my gut. Kevin Clapp thing kind of sealed the deal for me. I don't know if you guys know about Kevin Clapp. Not good. So there's that. Boom. Alrighty. Nice. Yeah, see, I agree with you there. You got a great point. Absolutely. Now you understand. There you go. All right. There was something else I saw that was really kind of awesome. Not that it matters, but Bass announced live sonar rule for the 2006 Elite Series. No more forward-facing sonar. Huh. Forward-facing live sonar will only be permitted in up to 5 of the 9 regular season Elite Series events. And they only do that 5 because the people that are fishing need that, or they can't catch any fish. They need to see it on the screen, or they can't fish. They're just idiots. So let me share this page for you. This is kind of cool. I'm not sure if you guys seen this. This channel here, Veriscope, Veriscope, right? Veriscope, yeah. He does some body language stuff, right? And I was watching one on Kelly Deaver. Really interesting stuff here.
Good evening. Welcome to Periscope. Today we're going.
So, I don't know if you guys want to hang out and go over this. I would like to, because it's some pretty. This guy puts it together like perfectly, and he does body language, language itself. He breaks it down. He's great. He's really freaking good. And he, man, you got to ask yourself, why would she lie? Why would she lie on the stand? She said something. If she said that she saw the Sallyport cameras when she was working at that desk, if she said that she saw them, that means what she told Alan Jackson was true. That she saw Higgins and the chief, and whomever else, spend an exorbitantly amount of time with the rear of Karen's car. Why would that be? I'll tell you why. One of the reasons why I think, because I think they didn't know how to take the taillight out of the vehicle. Like there's no screws on the outside, it screws from the inside. And you have to take the panels apart to undo the screws on the back of the taillight, so the taillight will come out of the back of the car. It's a piece of metal. Screw goes through the metal, nut goes on the back. And they didn't know how to do it. So they called in, he owns Brilliance Auto. What's his name? Yeah, these cops having side jobs. I don't know about that. Don't know. But they called him in so that he could come and take the taillight out and that they can then break it. So, needless to say, this video here is quite awesome. And let's listen to a little bit of what he says.
Going to be analysing the case of.
Before we do anything, I must say, please subscribe and give this guy a like and a thumbs up. If you guys, the name of it is Veriscope. If you do a search on YouTube, it'll come up. I'm going to be talking about this guy's work, and I want to give him, what is it, the journalistic, he made this. I'm going to give him Wanless. That's correct. Wanless. They called Wanless in to take the taillight out of the car because they couldn't. And in that time, them figuring it out, trying to figure it out that they couldn't, Diva sat there and watched them on the screen. And she had a pretty good view, because what they showed us was a pretty bad view. But either way, this guy did a great job with this, and we want to recognize this guy in his work. So I don't think we're stealing it. I'm trying to highlight it, and try and get this guy some subs. So let's try and go through this. This is pretty cool.
of the Commonwealth versus Karen Reid. And on the witness stand, we have police officer Kelly Dever, who we will be analysing her statements, and we'll be looking at the way that she acts. We'll be looking at her body language and her breathing and trying to assess the level of deception or truth which she gives on the witness stand. And this is who the trial is all about. This is Officer John O'Keefe, who was found murdered at the age of 46 on the front lawn of a fellow Boston police officer. And this is Karen Reid, if you're new to the trial, perhaps from the UK, who has faced 2 trials for John's murder. It's his girlfriend, or his ex-girlfriend rather. And in the first trial, it was a hung jury, and in the second trial, she was acquitted of all charges apart from drink driving. And if we proceed straight into the testimony, we can get going.
Were you ever interviewed?
Morning.
Morning, ma'am.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Good morning. Could you state your name and spell your last name for the jurors, please?
Kelly Dever, last name Dever.
And what do you do for a living? Presently?
I'm a police officer,
Where are you employed?
Boston Police.
How long have you been so employed with the Boston Police Department?
2 years and a little over 2 months.
Where'd you work before that?
I worked for the Canton Police.
Were you a sworn officer at that time?
Okay. Who you're asking? Who this is? Kelly Dever. She was on the stand at on the trial. She worked at Canton Police Department, and she was at the desk, and she made a statement to Alan Jackson saying that she saw XYZ. Then she recanted her story and said, I didn't say that, or I had a false memory, which is a bad thing because that just cost her job. And they gave her that idea to say that. So they made sure to make sure that she perjured herself or said that so that she would lose her job. Oh, the channel. All right, channel is called Veriscope. Veroscope. Veriscope. Veriscope. Okay. So that's that. Let's get it going here. Boom.
At what time? When I was employed there?
When you were employed by the Canton Police Department?
Yes, I was.
As a sworn police officer?
Yes.
Okay. What was your duty assignment in January of 2022?
I was a patrol officer.
You're familiar with the case that's presently before the bench, correct?
In some capacity, yes.
Commonwealth versus Karen Reid.
Yes.
All right. Did you ever prepare any kind of report based on any of your conduct or your connection with this case, if there was any connection with this case, while you were a Canton police officer?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by any member of the Canton Police Department in furtherance of their investigation related to the death of John O'Keefe?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by the Massachusetts State Police?
No.
Let me finish the question. I got to finish the question, then you can answer it. It works a little better that way. Were you ever interviewed by any member of the Massachusetts State Police in furtherance of their investigation into the death of John O'Keefe?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by either the Canton Police Department or the Massachusetts State Police with regard to any of your observations on January 28th or January 29th, 2022?
No.
And you never wrote a report about your observations or any observations that you had on January 28th or January 29th, 2022, correct?
No.
That was a double negative. Let me try that a different way. Did you ever write a report about your observations related to January 28th, 2022, January 29th, 2022?
No.
Thank you. As a matter of fact, the first time you were ever interviewed in connection with anything having to do with this case or this investigation related to the death of John O'Keefe was by a separate law enforcement agency, not the Massachusetts State Police, not the Canton Police Department, correct?
Yes.
That was in August of 2023. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you remember the exact date?
No.
August 9th, 2023. Does that sound right? About right?
I know it was the summer of 2023.
Okay.
So
Do you think it would refresh your recollection to take a look at a report of that interview?
yes, because I've never seen it before.
Just insofar as the date is concerned, may I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. Take a look at the bottom of that page. Just glance at that and tell me once you familiarize yourself with that page of that report. Okay. May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have that date in mind?
Yes.
Does that refresh your recollection that it was August 9th, 2023?
Yes.
Okay. I want to direct your attention, Officer Dever, to January 28th, 2022. Where were you working? What was your duty assignment on that day, January 28th, moving into January 29th?
Well, 3.5 years later, I remember I was on patrol. I don't remember anything further about this night.
Did you work overnight, like a late shift going into the morning of January 29th?
That was my assigned shift, so yes.
Okay, so we immediately sense that there's a bit of an attitude
Huh.
and signs of microaggression. And I get a sense that there is some fear as well of the truth coming out, in essence. Let's have a look at the actual transcript itself. I don't think we need to spend too much time, because really we just established here a baseline that she is capable of answering clearly with yeses and nos for straightforward questions that do not threaten any of the potential testimony that she's going to give. Every now and again we have a slight deceptive marker questioning the question.
You guys get what he's saying? All those questions that were just asked are all baselines. She knows how to say yes. She knows how to say no. Here's a question. Yes. Here's an answer. No. But so she knows that. They just set that guideline right there. They just put that together, and this is where it gets great.
We'd put a flag in it. It's not too important here. Generally speaking, we take note of somebody that questions the question because, as we learned in previous videos, they are buying extra cognitive time in order to answer the question, and they're gaining some form of intelligence by asking that question. So we would put a little flag in. But generally speaking, the first part of her testimony was fairly simple. No real deceptive markers. We understand that she's able to answer straightforward yeses and nos to the questions. However, once we start getting to specific timelines and specific dates, we begin to see a change from that pattern, and we begin to start seeing slight signs of the deceptive markers and the patterns which we've all come to know. Nothing unusual, nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, so let's go back to the actual trial.
Okay. Who else is working with you on that particular day, if you recall?
Sergeant Good, Officer Mullaney, Officer Seraph, and Officer Pasquarelli.
Mulaney.
And what generally was your assignment when you went into work that night on January 28th?
Patrol.
She's a lot of little ties. You'll
At
see.
some point,
You'll see. Awesome. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
either that evening or the early morning hours of January 29th, did you note that a call came in related to a person found in the snow, unresponsive in the snow?
Yes.
Boom.
Tell me about that. The nature of the call and where were you?
I was in my crew.
So we have the first change in the single answer response, and it was a change in the tonality, the pause, and the delivery. if you notice that. That's the first change we have in the pattern of the single answer response. It's almost reluctant. Would you agree?
User, a call came in that said person in a snowbank, something along those lines. Immediately followed by that transmission, my sergeant requested that I come to take over dispatch.
Is that Sergeant Good?
Yes.
Okay. Did you, in fact, respond back to Canton PD to take over dispatch?
Yes, so I was already in the parking lot of the Canton Police while this took place, so I was already at the station.
Did you know whether or not Sergeant Good and or any of the other?
She was in the parking lot of the police station getting paid. Sleeping.
Others responded to the location while you stayed back to handle dispatch at the police department?
Yes, that's why I went inside so he could respond.
Were you aware that Sergeant Good, did you have any knowledge at that time that Sergeant Good was familiar with or knew who Brian Albert was?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you know who Brian Albert was at
No.
that time?
No.
Do you now? He's
Because of
familiar
this
with the name.
case, yes.
I spoke over you. I'm so sorry. Based on this case, are you familiar with the name?
The name, yes.
Okay. Did you know Kevin Albert?
No. Oh, the detective Kevin Albert. Yes, I did.
Correct. How did you know Kevin Albert?
He was a detective for the Canton Police.
Were you aware of his relationship to Brian Albert at that time?
No.
Are you now aware of his relationship with Brian Albert?
Yes, from the media.
And what is that relationship as you know it?
Sustained.
Did you know Brian Higgins at that time?
Yes, in passing.
I'm not asking if you're social friends.
Okay, so you'll have noticed in this last exchange that things have changed. From the previous trainings, you'll have picked up the accent of deception, and we're beginning to see those patterns. Let's look at the actual transcript itself.
Think about this for a second, everybody. She knows of Brian Higgins in passing. Well, guess what? That's not true. When you're an officer that goes into the police station, that's a secure facility. Anybody else walking around inside, you know exactly who they are. She knew who Higgins was before, like, day zero. He had an office in there. Him and the chief were best buds. How does she not know that? She does. So she's already being deceptive about Higgins. There's no way in the world she can work at that police station and not know exactly who the guy walking around inside of the station is. Not possible.
So here we have the beginnings of some of the patterns which we've seen before. We mark reasons why in blue. Sergeant Good, these were the officers present that she's just told us. There'll be a few mistakes in the transcript. We'll just live with those and make as best sense as we can. Sometimes the transcript mistakes who's talking, but generally speaking, after a while, we can work it out. So here we are. Right, I was in my cruiser. A call came in that said, "Person in a snowbank," something along those lines. Immediately followed by that transmission, my sergeant requested that I come to take over dispatch. Okay, so the pattern change has moved on from the singular yeses and nos. Okay, did you in fact respond back to Canton PD to take over dispatch? Yes, so reason why. I was already, we marked this in pink because we have sensitivity. Sensitivity are phrases or individual words which are close together in a single sentence and can represent a deceptive marker. I was already in the parking lot of the Canton Police while this took place. Another reason why, the same reason why. So we definitely have strong sensitivity. So the sensitivity has suddenly appeared when she's been asked to leave her vehicle and go inside. So this has caused stress inside the brain. Under cognitive load, she has created this pattern. Something is causing her significant stress increase. Did you know whether or not Sergeant Good or any of the others responded to the location while you stayed back to handle dispatch at the police department? Yes, that's why I went inside, so he could respond. Okay, so going inside to her is problematic, or possibly the cause of the problems which she now faces. That would make sense. That's why she's suddenly changed into that deceptive pattern, which we've learned. Were you aware that Sergeant Good, did you have any knowledge at that time that Sergeant Good was familiar with or knew who Brian Albert was? Brian Albert is the Boston police officer whose body John O'Keefe was found on. So, of course, we have objection, and of course we have Beverly sustain. This is important. This is a suspect now that Karen Reed has been found innocent. Did you know who Brian Albert was at that time? And both the prosecution and the judge have obviously forgotten or prefer the way that this was phrased. No. Do you now? Yes. Okay, so back to reasonably confident baseline again. Based on this case, are you familiar with the name? Yes. Okay. Did you know Kevin Albert? No. Oh, the detective Kevin Albert. Yes, I did. Okay, so we have slight deception markers here with a no and then a yes. I did. Slight distancing as well. How did you know Kevin Albert? He was a detective for the Canton Police. Were you aware of his relationship to Brian Albert at that time? No. Are you now aware of his relationship with Brian Albert? Yes. And here we have a reason why from the media. So we put in a flag as a small potential deceptive marker. Let's carry on with the actual transcript.
Asking if you knew who he was.
Yes,
How'd you know who Brian Higgins was?
he had an office in the Canton Police.
Was he a sworn police officer?
Not for us.
Was he a sworn federal agent?
Yes.
Worked for ATF?
Yes.
Okay. How long had you known and been familiar with Brian Higgins? Say, for instance, by sight, to be able to recognize who he was.
Sometime during 2020 is when I was probably first familiarized with him, because that's when I was employed with the Canton Police Department first.
Okay. Pass him in the hallways, hi, bye, things like that.
Yes.
Sustained is to form, Mr. Jackson.
Understood. Did you know him by sight?
Yes.
Could you recognize him if you saw him?
2.5 years later, no, but at the time, yes.
I'm not asking you about right now. I'm asking you back in January 2022. Could you recognize him by sight?
Yes.
Did you know who Kenneth Berkowitz was?
Yes.
Who's Kenneth Berkowitz?
He was the chief of the Canton Police.
Obviously very familiar with him. He was your boss, correct?
Yes.
When Sergeant Good instructed you to take over dispatch, explain what that meant.
It meant I walked inside and I sat down in a dispatch room.
Describe the dispatch.
So a strange little smile there, wasn't there? A strange little duper's delight in a way about to reveal itself. Let's catch up with the analysis. So, yes, in passing. So minimization. She wants to keep away from Brian Higgins. Yes, in passing. How do you know who Brian Higgins was? He had an office in the Canton Police. So she knows who he is. She knows exactly where he works. She obviously sees him fairly regularly. Not for us, continues the distancing. Is he a sworn federal agent? Yes, back to baseline, no problems. Okay, and how long had you known and been familiar with Brian Higgins? So Jackson's trying to pull back the familiarity and prevent the distancing. Say, for instance, by sight, etc. Is when I was probably first familiarized with him, because so we're beginning to see the pattern. Everyone's beginning to recognize it, and everyone can see how the pattern isn't strong, but it's there. That's when I was employed by the Canton Police Department first. Okay. Pass them in the hallways, high fives, high buys, that sort of thing. The objection comes, the sustain comes. As to form, understood. Did you know him by sight? Yes. Could you recognize him? And then, and here we have, this should be down here, I believe, 2.5 years later as the no. But at the time, yes. So she's saying, as a police officer, that she wouldn't recognize Brian Higgins. She's been involved in this case for quite a while. She knows exactly who Brian Higgins is. The distancing language is sufficient for her now to say that she might not even recognize him. Not really credible. So we have our first indication of real deception, not being able to recognize Higgins. She's expecting us to believe that. I'm not asking you about right now, I'm asking back in 2022. Could you recognize him by sight? Yes. Okay, but now she's asking us to believe that, and the first trial had gone on, that she might not recognize him now. So no, not credible. Our first genuine, significant deception. Did you know who Kenneth Berkowitz was? Yes. Who was he? He was the chief. Okay. Obviously very familiar with him. Yes, back to baseline, no problems at all. Okay, let's carry on. Baseline is important to establish, so we haven't wasted our time.
What did that array look like?
There was chairs and computers.
Monitors?
Yes.
Does the dispatch area also have
The smile before, I think.
of that day?
All right, time out. Let's go back where we were.
In essence. Let's
Okay. You guys want to hear about something really freaking crazy, not right? Massachusetts auto policy. Have you guys seen what you're paying for car insurance? I'm shocked at what I'm paying. I'm blown away. I should be paying $800 a year. I'm not. I have no speeding tickets, no car accidents. I'm a step 9. I've been a step 9 since you could be a step 9. I've had my license since 16 and a half. I've driven probably close to 1 million miles across this country. not gotten in any accidents. And I'm driving an old car that I have the title for. That even if it got hit and got totaled, it's still not even worth what I paid for it. And I'm paying 3 times what the car is worth. How? How is this possible? I'm sorry. We'll be talking about that later. Well, absolutely, because the people are that do pay the insurance are paying for the people that don't have the insurance. Think about that. All right. I'm sorry. I just had to vent because I've been calling, trying to get different rates. And someone, I guess, got an email saying, you actually have really good rate. I'm like, how? How can be paid 3 times what you should be paying a good rate? And I haven't got no car accident. Like, I'm a pretty good driver, I think. I don't get it. No speeding tickets since I was 16 and a half. Ginny, how about $320 a month? I don't have any words. I don't have any words to say. All right, let's go back to reality here, right? I know Kirby. Yeah. All right, I'll give them. I'll definitely give them a ring. I have my policy and everything. It's just it blows my freaking mind at what they expect people to pay for car insurance. See, I don't want to know what you're paying on a new car. I don't even want to think about it. I don't something decent like a Audi or something like that. Like something that if you get hit, you got to get fixed because the car's worth more than that. That's not the case here. You just keep going. Like, I just don't have words. And then better yet, the same rate goes on the car that's older, a 1988 300ZX. Same rate. I'm paying the rates of a drunk driver, and I've never had a drink or nothing like that. Sorry. Let's get back to Kelly. Dever. However,
Let's have a look at the actual transcript itself.
This guy's great.
I don't think we need to spend too much time because really we just established here a baseline that she is capable of answering clearly with yeses and nos for straightforward questions that do not threaten any of the potential testimony that she's going to give. Every now and again, we have a slight deceptive marker questioning the question. We put a flag in it. It's not too important here. Generally speaking, we take note of somebody that questions the question because, as we learned in previous videos, they are buying extra cognitive time in order to answer the question, and they're gaining some form of intelligence by asking that question. So we would put a little flag in. But generally speaking, the first part of her testimony was fairly simple, no real deceptive markers. We understand that she's able to answer straightforward yeses and nos to the questions. However, once we start getting to specific timelines and specific dates, we begin to see a change from that pattern, and we begin to start seeing slight signs of the deceptive markers and the patterns which we've all come to know. Nothing unusual, nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, so let's go back to the actual trial.
Okay. Who else was working with you on that particular day, if you recall?
Sergeant Good, Officer Mullaney, Officer Seraph, and Officer Pasquarelli.
And what generally was your assignment when you went into work that night on January 28th?
Patrol.
At some point, either that evening in the early morning hours of January 29th, did you note that a call came in related to a person found in the snow, unresponsive in the snow?
Yes.
Tell me about that, the nature of the call, and where were you?
I was in my crew.
So we have the first change in the single answer response, and it was a change in the tonality, the pause, and the delivery, if you notice that. That's the first change we have in the pattern of the single answer response. It's almost reluctant. Would you agree?
A call came in that said person in a snowbank, something along those lines. Immediately followed by that transmission, my sergeant requested that I come to take over dispatch.
Is that Sergeant Good?
Yes.
Okay. Did you, in fact, respond back to Canton PD to take over dispatch?
Yes, so I was already in the parking lot of the Canton Police while this took place, so I was already at the station.
Did you note whether or not Sergeant Good and or any of the others responded to the location while you stayed back to handle dispatch at the police department?
Yes, that's why I went inside so he could respond.
Were you aware that Sergeant Good, did you have any knowledge at that time that Sergeant Good was familiar with or knew who Brian Albert was?
Objection. Sustained.
Did you know who Brian Albert was at
No.
that time?
No.
Do you now? At least
Because of
familiar
this
with the name?
case, yes.
I spoke over you, I'm so sorry. Based on this case, are you familiar with the name?
The name, yes.
Okay. Did you know Kevin Albert?
No. Oh, the detective Kevin Albert. Yes, I did.
Correct. How did you know Kevin Albert?
He was a detective for the Canton Police.
Were you aware of his relationship to Brian Albert at that time?
No.
Are you now aware of his relationship with Brian Albert?
Yes, from the media.
And what is that relationship as you know it?
Sustained.
Did you know Brian Higgins at that time?
Yes, in passing.
I'm not asking if you're social friends.
Okay, so you'll have noticed in this last exchange that things have changed. From the previous trainings, you'll have picked up the accent of deception, and we're beginning to see those patterns. Let's look at the actual transcript itself. So here we have the beginnings of some of the patterns which we've seen before. We mark reasons why in blue. Sergeant Good, these were the officers present that she's just told us. There'll be a few mistakes in the transcript. We'll just live with those and make as best sense as we can. Sometimes the transcript mistakes who's talking, but generally speaking, after a while, we can work it out. So here we are. Right, I was in my cruiser. A call came in that said, person in a snowbank, something along those lines. Immediately followed by that transmission, my sergeant requested that I come to take over dispatch. Okay, so the pattern change has moved on from the singular yeses and nos. Okay, did you in fact respond back to Canton PD to take over dispatch? Yes, so reason why. I was already, we mark this in pink because we have sensitivity. Sensitivity are phrases or individual words which are close together in a single sentence and can represent a deceptive marker. I was already in the parking lot of the Canton Police while this took place. Another reason why, the same reason why. So we definitely have strong sensitivity. So the sensitivity has suddenly appeared when she's been asked to leave her vehicle and go inside. So this has caused stress inside the brain. Under cognitive load, she has created this pattern. Something is causing her significant stress increase. Did you know whether or not Sergeant Good or any of the others responded to the location while you stayed back to handle dispatch at the police department? Yes, that's why I went inside, so he could respond. Okay, so going inside to her is problematic, or possibly the cause of the problems which she now faces. That would make sense. That's why she's suddenly changed into that deceptive pattern, which we've learned. Were you aware that Sergeant Good, did you have any knowledge at that time that Sergeant Good was familiar with or knew who Brian Albert was? Brian Albert is the Boston police officer whose body John O'Keefe was found on. So, of course,
yes,
we have objection,
Shelby.
and of course we have Beverly sustain. This is important.
She helped.
This is a suspect now that Karen Reed has been found innocent. Did you know who Brian Albert was at that time? And both the prosecution and the judge have obviously forgotten or prefer the way that this was phrased. No. Do you now? Yes. Okay, so back to reasonably confident baseline again. Based on this case, are you familiar with the name? Yes. Okay. Did you know Kevin Albert? No. Oh, the detective Kevin Albert. Yes, I did. Okay, so we have slight deception markers here with a no and then a yes. I did. Slight distancing as well.
Yes, Gail.
How did you know Kevin Albert? He was a detective for the county.
Sorry, got to pause this. Gail, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hope everything's well. Talk to you later when you get, but it's good to see you, Gail.
Canton Police. Were you aware of his relationship to Brian Albert at that time? No. Are you now aware of his relationship with Brian Albert? Yes. And here we have a reason why from the media. So we put in a flag as a small potential deceptive marker. Let's carry on with the actual transcript.
Asking if you knew who he was.
Yes,
How'd you know who Brian Higgins was?
he had an office in the Canton Police.
Was he a sworn police officer?
Not for us.
Was he a sworn federal agent?
Yes.
Worked for ATF?
Yes.
Okay. How long had you known and been familiar with Brian Higgins? Say, for instance, by sight, to be able to recognize who he was.
Sometime during 2020 is when I was probably first familiarized with him, because that's when I was employed with the Canton Police Department first.
Okay. Pass him in the hallways, hi, bye, things like that.
Yes.
Sustained is to form, Mr. Jackson.
Understood. Did you know him by sight?
Yes.
Could you recognize him if you saw him?
2.5 years later, no, but at the time, yes.
I'm not asking you about right now. I'm asking you back in January 2022. Could you recognize him by sight?
Yes.
Did you know who Kenneth Berkowitz was?
Yes.
Who's Kenneth Berkowitz?
He was the chief of the Canton Police.
Obviously very familiar with him. He was your boss, correct?
Yes.
When Sergeant Good instructed you to take over dispatch, explain what that meant.
It meant I walked inside and I sat down in a dispatch room.
Describe the dispatch.
So a strange little smile there, wasn't there? A strange little duper's delight in a way about to reveal itself. Let's catch up with the analysis. So, yes, in passing. So minimization. She wants to keep away from Brian Higgins. Yes, in passing. How do you know who Brian Higgins was? He had an office in the Canton Police. So she knows who he is. She knows exactly where he works. She obviously sees him fairly regularly. Not for us, continues the distancing. Is he a sworn federal agent? Yes, back to baseline, no problems. Okay. And how long had you known and been familiar with Brian Higgins? So Jackson's trying to pull back the familiarity and prevent the distancing. Say, for instance, by sight, etc. Is when I was probably first familiarized with him, because so we're beginning to see the pattern. Everyone's beginning to recognize it, and everyone can see how the pattern isn't strong, but it's there. That's when I was employed by the Canton Police Department first. Okay. Pass him in the hallways, high fives, high buys, that sort of thing. The objection comes, the sustain comes. As to form, understood. Did you know him by sight? Yes. Could you recognize him? And then, and here we have, this should be down here, I believe, 2.5 years later as the no. But at the time, yes. So she's saying, as a police officer, that she wouldn't recognize Brian Higgins. She's been involved in this case for quite a while. She knows exactly who Brian Higgins is. The distancing language is sufficient for her now to say that she might not even recognize him. Not really credible. So we have our first indication of real deception, not being able to recognize Higgins. She's expecting us to believe that. I'm not asking you about right now, I'm asking back in 2022. Could you recognize him by sight? Yes. Okay, but now she's asking us to believe that, and the first trial had gone on, that she might not recognize him now. So no, not credible. Our first genuine, significant deception. Did you know who Kenneth Berkowitz was? Yes. Who was he? He was the chief. Okay. Obviously very familiar with him. Yes, back to baseline, no problems at all. Okay, let's carry on. Baseline is important to establish, so we haven't wasted our time.
What did that array look like?
There was chairs and computers.
Monitors?
Yes.
Does the dispatch area also have...
The smile before, I think, was also nervousness, because up until now it's been relatively safe, but she knows she's about to go inside the building and sit down with the arrays and the monitors, and she's about to see things. So she's recognized she's at the crunch point. The smile is a mixture of fear, nervousness, and the recognition that we're now here.
Monitors of internal security camera footage?
I know there was camera screens, but I don't know if they were on TVs or computers or where in dispatch they were. I don't recollect where they were or how they would be accessed. They were in the room somewhere. I can't be more specific. I don't remember.
But you do recall seeing that there were monitors that were showing different views of internal security camera footage of Canton PD, correct?
The specifics, no. Were there? Yes.
I don't know what you mean by specifics. I'm asking you, were there monitors that you could look at that showed security camera footage from inside Canton PD, different areas, hallways, corridors, offices, the Sally port, for instance?
So 2.5 years since
You keep saying 2.5 years later.
So let her finish her answer and then ask a question.
Sure.
It's been years since I've been in that room. They were somewhere in the room. Where cameras were in the Canton Police Department, I don't recall. The media's provided me information since this case took place, and I can't speak on what's my recollection and what's been media provided. There are cameras. I don't know where on my memory where they are.
So has the media informed you that there were internal security monitors at the dispatch location?
So the objection is sustained. Next question.
What do you recall from the dispatch room, as you put it? What do you recall being in terms of monitors?
I remember there was a computer screen that had information about current calls, and then there was a 911 screen next to that. Those are the two computers that I would have been positioned in front of during this time.
As a dispatch officer, by the way, you were a sworn officer at
Yes.
that time, correct? Uniform, badge, gun, the whole works, right?
Yes.
Had you ever been in the Sally port at Canton PD?
Yes.
What's the Sally port?
A Sally port is a garage, essentially.
Okay. You were aware that the Sally port garage had a camera, a security camera?
It would make sense because that's where we bring prisoners to drop them off.
Well, more than just makes sense. I'm asking you, do you recall that it had cameras that serviced the Sally port garage? Security cameras.
It's where we brought prisoners, so there would be cameras, yes.
Okay, you're saying there would be cameras. I'm asking you, were there cameras?
According to the media, yes.
Oh.
I've seen the footage, so yes, there were cameras.
Yeah.
All right, so hold on. So I'm going to strike the officer. You have to answer the question based on your own independent knowledge. Okay? And if you don't have them, tell us. But you can't reference what you know from the media.
All right. There were cameras in the Sally port.
Thank you. Ms. Dever, do you want to be here tonight?
I have no relation to this case,
I
so
didn't ask you that.
Okay, let's catch up with the analysis. I think everyone can agree with me that it's highly unusual behavior, and she is desperate not to be pinned down to the fact that she's A, inside the building, B, sitting at monitor screens, C, that cameras are showing the video that they're picking up on these monitor screens, D, that she is aware that there are cameras in the Sally port, and E, who's in the Sally port, including the vehicle of Karen Reed, and they're saying, and the prosecution is saying that the vehicle is the murder weapon. Complete avoidance, almost to the point where she's phobic about it. Highly deceptive. Let's look at the actual transcript itself.
Highly deceptive.
So, does the dispatch area also have monitors of internal security camera footage? So we're completely off baseline. And for those who have been learning forensic linguistics and statement analysis with Veriscope, we immediately start to see the pattern. We immediately start to see the sensitivity again. But look at this, we have triple sensitivity. I know there was camera screens, but I don't know if they were on TVs or computers or where in dispatch they were. So we can...
Who cares? Who cares whether or not the image is put on an LCD screen or a plasma screen or a computer screen or whatever screen? It doesn't matter. It's the image on the screen, Kelly.
we can see from the deception that she does. I don't recollect where they were or how they would be accessed. Deception. They were in the room somewhere, so she's contradicting herself because she can't quite entirely lie clearly. I can't be more specific. I can't be more specific. Okay, so here we have the admission as to why. In effect, I can't be. I don't, and then to try and shut down the whole thing. I don't remember. So the whole answer is deceptive. But you do recall seeing that there were monitors that were Jackson's having none of it, that were showing different views of internal security camera footage. I mean, she's sitting at these cameras, watching what's happening on the videos, and can clearly see what's happening in the Sally port. However, if she lets us know, there's going to be real problems for her. And let's not forget, we're dealing with a murder trial. We're dealing with a police officer who's been murdered.
Yeah.
We're dealing with the fact that he was murdered at a police officer's home and the same police department that she works for.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, things happen. You know, mistakes occur, and she is possibly in genuine danger. You know, it might be an accident or people late to a call, but she's in danger and she recognizes that. But you do recall seeing that there were monitors. The specifics, no. And here we have a slight transcript where the two have confused each other, or I don't know what you mean. So this is Jackson. I don't know what you mean by specifics. I'm asking you, were there monitors that you could look at that showed security camera footage from inside Canton PD, different areas, hallways, corridors, offices, the Sally port, for instance? She doesn't like that because we know that she can see what's going on in the Sally port.
Of course.
We have deceptive marker, reason why, and then she tries to give the 2.5 years since Jackson cuts her off. You keep saying 2.5 years later. So, and then Beverly Canone, the wonderful judge, interrupts and says, let her finish her answer, which is a fair point, to be fair, and then ask a question. Sure. It's been years since I've been in that room. So here we have our deception pattern. They were somewhere in the room. Where cameras were in Canton Police Department, I don't recall. The media's provided me information since this case took place, and I can't speak on what's my... Ooh, so here we are. She repeats this pattern of I can't. She's telling us that I can't speak. This is the unconscious truth. I can't speak on what's my recollection.
And what's
so she's telling us
provided?
If we isolate here and here, I can't speak on what's my recollection and what's being provided by the media, which is the hokey excuse. There are cameras. I don't know where on my memory. So here we have linguistic fracture, cognitive overload, and an unconscious admission. I can't speak on what's my recollection. So theoretically, what would be the reasons that she can't speak? And I believe that there's a mixture of intimidation and a mixture of unsaid threat. And I believe she believes that the threat is very real. At this level of corruption and this level of risk for those involved in corruption, i.e. life sentences, possibly without, depending on the charge,
Yeah,
parole.
her
I mean,
job
literally life sentences. She knows she's in genuine danger, in my opinion.
makes sense.
So has the media informed, so Jackson now is having none of it again. So has the media informed you that there are internal security monitors at the dispatch location? In other words, the desk that you're sitting at in front of all the...
Real quick, that comment right there. Can you just for a second imagine looking at your boss and knowing that all this is bad, all this is dirty, and he's in on it too? We'll get to him later. He said, I never mentioned Karen Reed together. You telling me you're the top cop? One of your guys got murdered on the front lawn of another one of your cops, and you don't know nothing about the dead guy? Huh? Time out, guy. Time out. You're the leader. You don't know nothing. You're in the trenches here. You're on the street. You're on the street so hard they beat your ass up. They mistaken you for a friggin' whoever. Now you're the friggin' chief of police and you don't know nothing about no Karen Reed? Really? Okay.
these security cameras and all these security monitors that you have for years. The objection comes, sustained comes. Next question. What do you recall from the dispatch room? What do you recall being there in terms of monitors? Now she says, I remember there was a computer screen that I mean, this is being this is dragging blood out of a stone. I remember there was a computer screen that had information about current calls.
Yeah, 911.
And then there was a 911 screen next to that. So suddenly the memory returns perfectly well.
Two monitors in front of her, not the security system.
Those are the two computers that I would. So she's not saying that she was.
She was in dispatch.
That I would.
One is called
being positioned in front of
Hello.
during this time as a dispatch officer.
That's right. Okay.
You were a sworn officer, etc. Yes, back to baseline. Have you ever been in the Sally Port, Canton PD? A dragged out? Yes. What's the Sally Port? She tells us. Okay, you're aware that Sally Port garage had a camera, a security camera.
Yeah.
And here again,
how she forget?
Get her to admit that she's sitting in front of a monitor that is seeing everything that's going on. So difficult for her to tell the truth. It would make sense, reason why that's where we bring prisoners in to drop them off. Jackson's having none of it again. Well, more than just make sense, I'm asking you, do you recall that it has cameras that serviced the Sally Port garage, security cameras? And she still won't answer. So she says, it's where we brought prisoners. So
how would you
there
not
would
know
be
where
cameras. And then finally she gives up and says yes.
How? Like it's an impossibility.
We've established that there are cameras that can view what goes on in the Sally Port, and we've established that she's sat next to a monitor that sees it all.
Yep.
Phew.
All that.
Okay, you're saying there would be cameras. I'm asking you, were there cameras? According to the media, yes, I've seen the footage. So yes, there were cameras. Wow.
Hmm.
Let's have a look.
I asked you if you want to be here today.
Objection, this isn't direct.
So it's your witness.
I understand.
She can, no comments, just questions. Not, I understand that.
Do you want to be here today, man?
I am put on the stand in a murder trial. I don't know why I'm here. I have no connection to this case.
You have no idea why you're here?
You've never talked to me. Nobody on the fence seems to talk to me since prior.
The smile, I get the impression, is because she's ready to deliver her pre-planned speech to the court.
Yep.
And she's happy to be at this point.
For the first trial. So I don't have any idea why I'm here.
No clue whatsoever. As you sit here, why you might have been close and stand.
We're just going over her testimony and how this guy is just tearing it apart and how she's just absolutely being defensive. She's being, oh boy, a lot of different words, we'll say.
No.
Are you uncomfortable testifying?
No, it's part of my job.
You're a professional police officer, correct?
Correct.
That means you're a professional witness to a certain degree, correct?
In the crimes that I've gone on the stand before, yes, I have been.
And you understand the oath?
Yes, I do.
What is that oath?
The oath is to tell the truth.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
All fair. Is there more to that oath? When you raise your right hand, as a witness?
An objection.
So we see it's
Look right at him.
Okay,
She looked right at him. Bang.
quite incredible.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
And then it went to sidebar, which is probably a good time for us to end the analysis for today and to carry on with part 2 tomorrow. So absolutely like blood out of a stone with this witness. Not a huge amount of deception until we got there, and then deception off the scale. So okay, let's call it a night, and we'll carry on with part 2 in the morning.
So that guy again, let's give him some big props. His this is his site right here, Veriscope. Please like, subscribe, tell him you love his content. You know, tell him he sent you. But he's great. This guy's great. He really is, and we'll do part 2. We can't do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's a bad day. Maybe Friday. How's that? Wait a minute. Yeah. Friday. Do part 2. Because he part 2 is as good as part 1. And he's got you. Once he got you, and you start like, yeah, oh yeah, oh, and you start thinking it, and you see what how she acts, and man, it's really kind of telling, you know. Yeah, he popped up on mine, and I'm glad I watched it, man. What a great channel, great guy that does this, and I mean, we could do part 2 Friday. I mean, it's worth it. It's good. Let me put this in my schedule. Friday. Date night. Oh, date day. How about that? We'll do a date. We'll have a date. You and me, all of us. Party. Awesome. With that said, I love you all. You all being here. I honestly can't thank you guys enough. I really love you guys. You know, I don't know how else to say it, but yeah. You guys do this for you guys. It's kind of fun. It's fun. All right. All right, guys. With that said, say a prayer for me, say a prayer for Mike. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks for all being here, and we'll catch up with you Friday. Love you.
Cold mornings, cracked pavement, courthouse steps. He's there before sunrise while the world still rests. No cameras needed, no spotlight glare. Just a man with a purpose, always standing there. Facing the crowd, but the fight in his veins. Truth in his hands, pushing through the rain. Karen sees him, she knows what it means when you've got boots on the ground and you fight for your dreams. Boots on the ground, day after day, standing for truth in the hardest way. No fame, no glory, just a promise kept. Tom CPU, you never left. He don't ask for credit, don't ask for praise. Just fight in the good fight in 1,000 ways. When the cameras fade and the voices die, he's still right there, never asking why. He's got a handshake that you can trust, eyes that don't blink when it comes to us. Karen smiles because she knows it's true. She's got a soldier and his name's CPU. Boots on the ground, day after day, standing for truth in the hardest way. No fame, no glory, just a promise kept. Tom CPU, you never left. When the courthouse is empty and the crowd's gone home, Tom's still walking, he's never alone. 1,000 steps, a million prayers, because justice don't sleep and neither does he care.